You know that feeling when a camera's pointed at you and suddenly you don't know what to do with your hands? Yeah, that's not just you. And here's how to fix it. Most people hate having their photo taken. I think it's important to know that if that's how you feel, then you're not alone. It is awkward. I mean, how often does a stranger point a camera at your face? You're expected to feel forced, and for a lot of us, there's a fear of self-promotion and having that focus on you. But here's the thing. If people can't see who you are, they won't know what you're about. And that's why I love this work. I know how it feels to have all eyes on you. I started out in acting, so when I'm on the other side of a lens, I never forget that vulnerability. The reason being photographed feels so uncomfortable, well, there are many reasons, but for a start, you're entrusting a stranger or someone you don't know very well to capture your image, to produce something that is out of your control, but so closely connected to how you're portrayed to the world. And that in itself is pretty vulnerable. Then there's the new environment of a studio, the lights and the camera, a lens pointing at you that looks far too long for how close the photographer is, and suddenly you're thinking this photo is going to be microscopically zoomed in. But it isn't just about the camera. It's about what the camera and the whole photo shoot idea represents. That's the sticking point that makes everything feel awkward. You're being asked to step forward and say, "Here I am, look at me." And that's hard. Self-promotion doesn't come naturally to most of us, and we then worry about looking vain and we overthink every little thing. That's when the nervous thoughts about our appearance take over. We become super self-conscious and begin worrying about our smile and what we're doing with our hands and even how we're standing or sitting. If this already feels familiar, stick around because in a minute, I'll show you the moment every client goes from nervous to natural. Getting great headshots or professional photos to help you and your business happens when you remember that this is not about you. These photos aren't for you. These photos are for your audience. Your target market that visit your website and your socials, your photos provide them with information that gives an impression of who you are and how you would be to work with. And when we fully understand this, we have an external focus for our images. You shift from worrying about how do I look to making proactive decisions about how do I want my audience to feel when they see this. And everything changes. Your energy softens, you connect with the camera differently, and that awkwardness just fades away because we have an external focus. It becomes less about you and more about them, your audience. And that's when you get the moment. It happens in every session when the client sees their photo on the screen for the first time and just stops. They may come into the studio and say things like, "You've got your work cut out today, Toby, with me," or "You won't get my chins, will you?" That's another one I get a lot. And I'm well aware that after many years of working with all sorts of levels of confidence, that this is purely anxious energy just manifesting itself. That attitude that if you put yourself down first, then no one else can. But when they see their first photo on the screen, they often say something along the lines of, "Wow, is that me?" And suddenly it clicks. They're no longer thinking about the camera. They're thinking about what this image says about them, how it shows their strength, their warmth, and their personality. And together, we can discuss what the images say about them as a professional, and we can begin steering the direction towards what we want to say. And that's my favorite part. I fell in love with photography and headshots because I saw how powerful it is when someone sees themselves with new eyes, especially people who've never felt photogenic, and they realize they can look professional, confident, and somebody worthy of being shared. And that transformation never gets old, because that's what we want. If you don't show up and put yourself out there, no one will know what you're about. People want to see the face behind the business. They want to know who they're trusting. And that's why strong, authentic visuals really do matter. And we're not just talking about nice photos of you. We want headlining, scroll-stopping photos that are going to ensure you are getting noticed and taken seriously. Photos that attract attention, they don't scream for them. They simply say, "Here I am, and I'm ready for you to know me." And when we capture that real personality, the version of you that laughs, that moves, that connects, that's when your audience feels it. And that's when they remember you. So why am I sharing this? Well, if you've ever thought, I hate photos of myself, I want you to know you're not alone. And my job as a photographer isn't to make you look like someone else or to look like something you want to be or something you're not. My job is to celebrate and showcase who you already are, and in a way that feels powerful and true. If you've ever hated photos of yourself, maybe you just haven't had the right person take them. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next episode, where I'll be showing you how I help people belong in the spotlight. I'll see you in the next one.